A really different world reboot. A sequel series to A Different World, centered on Dwayne and Whitley's daughter, is currently in development at Netflix. This is according to sources that Variety has spoken to. The project hails from writer and executive producer, Never DMV shout out, Felicia Pride, whose credits include Grey's Anatomy and Queen Sugar. Also, a former consultant of the original series, also another HBCU alum, and will serve as an executive producer of the series. That's Debbie Allen. Gina Prince Bythewood and Reggie Rock Bythewood will also serve as executive producers. Now, Netflix has declined to comment on whether or not this reboot is actually happening, but, Variety does have a very unique inside track to things that some of us in this industry do not. A Different World. For those of you who have been deprived of such incredible television history that A Different World is, which, oh my gosh, please go and find that series because it was on Netflix at one point and watch it. You will understand so much about the Black college experience. Speaking from an HBCU alum myself, go Hampton Pirates. Anybody that writes in this comment and hates on me going to Hampton University, shame. We should all lift one another as Black college grads. So come on, show your pride, wear your flag, represent. Okay, I'm gonna back up, I'm gonna back down because I'm getting way too deep into this. But let's go into A Different World itself. A Different World is a spinoff of The Cosby Show, created by Bill Cosby. I know that's a controversial name right now, but the brother tried to tell our stories. So, ran for 6 seasons on NBC when it was must-see TV. You know that series and The Cosby Show created NBC must-see TV, and if they deny it, you know why they are. Started in 1987, followed Denise Huxtable. You all remember Denise Huxtable? Lisa Bonet, mother to Zoe Kravitz. But she was also Denise Huxtable, which incredible character in and of herself. Follows Denise and her new classmates at Hillman College, a fictional historically Black university. Now, after Bonet exited the series after one season, A Different World shifted its focus to other students, played by Don Lewis, of course, Colonel Glenn Turman, who ran the ROTC program there, Corey Tyler, Kadeem Hardison, Lou Myers, Daryl M. Bell, Cree Summer, Charnel Brown, Jada Pinkett Smith, and last but definitely not least, Jasmine Guy Whitley. A little bit more facts about what you may not know about A Different World. Gina Prince Bythewood and her husband, Reggie Rock Bythewood, were both writers on the original Different World. The pair met on another 90s comedy. NBC, we're going to need to talk to you about what happened to your Black sitcoms. Whole nother conversation, but we're going to need to have it one day. The pair met while working on The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air before they got hired as writers on A Different World. The theme song, iconic theme song. Let's take a minute to just appreciate how incredible that theme song is, right? I know my parents love me. Stand behind me, come what may. Okay, I'm not a singer, but I gave you a couple lines. Not even a bar, because a bar is like, okay, whatever. I'm getting off topic. Anyway, this iconic theme song had some amazing voices that contributed to it. Phoebe Snow, season 1, of course, the one we all know and love that we rock to for so many seasons. The late, great Aretha Franklin, seasons 2 through 5. And then some of my personal favorites of that era, Boyz II Men and Terrence Forsyth. They added their voices to season 6. The original composition itself, the musical composition, was done by Stu Gardner, Bill Cosby, you may not know this, Don Lewis, who played Jaleesa. Now, what I find so incredible about Different World and The Cosby Show, remember the 90s had these 80s and 90s shows, which you kind of see sometimes now with streaming platforms. And depending on the series itself, these incredible opening credits. That was something that I loved then. I think now in this fast food society where we just want everything right now, we tend to push back on the openings or, skip the intros. But opening credits, so cool. Cosby did these whole numbers where people were, especially for his show, where they each kind of contributed their own dance that expressed their personalities, the actors themselves, to the opening credits of The Cosby Show. And A Different World had basically their opening credits showed you a piece of who that character was, things that they kind of who defined who they were. So if you were watching the series for the first time, or, even if you just appreciated the series as a fan every week, one of the cool things about the opening credits was you saw a little piece of each character every week in their opening credits sequence. Another little known fact: season 1 included Marissa Tomei. Yes, Marissa Tomei of My Cousin Vinny. Bet you didn't know she was on A Different World if you had never watched it. She played probably the only white student on Hillman's campus. No, I'm just kidding. Joke. But seriously, from our view as an audience, Marissa Tomei is one of the few white students we got to see in Hillman College's history. So she technically was the minority student at a historically Black institution. Unfortunately, Marissa Tomei left after season 1. Debbie Allen, who assumed the producer's mantle from season 2 onward, had very ambitious plans for exploring Tomei's character. She had a whole planned storyline intended to highlight the complex realities of interracial relationships at the time. So Marissa Tomei was going to get that fire started with a brother on campus. And the reason I kind of am I don't know, disheartened that they didn't explore that is I feel like we don't always get a nice layered perspective to interracial relationships. And now that we want to act like we're a colorblind society, which we know we're not, we really like to just act like it's people just dating, even though there's still so many layers and complexities to people dating from different backgrounds. Not that that's bad, it's just there are complexities and layers to it, which I would have really liked to have watched and to see as a viewer back when A Different World was on. Unfortunately, this was met with a lot of executive pushback. And those of us that work in the industry and get those incredible network notes, or as we like to call them, notes from the network or studios, understand that when you get that pushback, you got to decide which battles you're actually going to fight. And unfortunately, this one wasn't one that the team could fight at this time. So it ultimately led to Tomei being fired from the show. I don't know why the girl had to get let go, but she ended up going on to My Cousin Vinny and winning an Academy Award. Talk about when a window closes, a very large door opens. I know that's not how the saying exactly goes, but it definitely opened a very large door for Marissa Tomei, also a member of the MCU. I mean, look at her path after being kicked off of Hillman's campus as the only white student in its history. I know she's not the only white student in its history, but I'm just saying. Anywho, Meg Ryan, bet you didn't know this, was originally cast for the role that Marissa Tomei played. Meg Ryan, I know. I had to close my mouth when I learned too. But she wanted to be a film actress. How dare you, Meg Ryan? How dare you say that TV, I meant for film? And you know what ended up happening? After she turned down Marissa Tomei's role and decided to take her hand at being a film actress, she went on to star in some of the most iconic romantic comedies of a generation. Heck, of a few generations. When Harry Met Sally, Sleepless in Seattle, You've Got Mail. Crazy for her to take such a risk, and it paid off. Now, another thing about Hillman College. Yes, Debbie Allen served as a producer from season 2 on. Went to one of the other HUs, Howard University alum. Howard, I'm just messing with y'all. Don't come for me. But Hillman College itself, featured in the series, is a fictional historically Black college founded in 1881, located in the Commonwealth of Virginia. So, is this pilot happening? Could be, could not be. I mean, Whitley was pregnant with his daughter that they will be following 30 some years ago. So either she went on an incredible long gap season instead of year, or we're just going to kind of ignore timelines. But that's all good. We do that. This is suspension of belief. That's what makes what we do in this industry so incredible. Maybe Whitley had a long-term pregnancy. Maybe something happened with the first pregnancy. Maybe Whitley, and Dwayne didn't get pregnant till years later. And that's why we have this daughter that's just now attending college. Who knows? What I find interesting, because I had the opportunity to work with college students about 3 years ago on a project in New Orleans and students from a historically Black college. Seeing how college is navigated now from when it was 5 years ago. It's so interesting. Technology is, different. Okay, maybe it was a little more than 5 years ago, but don't even try to act like you trying to figure out how long ago that was because you're definitely not getting that out of me. So, considering that was about 5 years, a little more than 5 years ago, I'm not even going to say 10. Seeing how kids now navigate on school with social platforms, nobody really is openly social like that anymore. I mean, I think you have to be on college campuses, but we do get to hide a lot behind a keyboard now, more so than we ever have before. I want to see how you navigate. I mean, when you date or when you meet somebody, do you cyber stalk them a little bit before do you do it like you do in the, real world, like where you kind of cyber stalk them a little bit to figure out, do I want to shoot my shot? Do you navigate it from that standpoint? Do you slip into their DMs? Do you even hit them with the text? I don't know. How do you do this? That'll be cool. Studying. Oh my gosh. I remember when you could only have, I'm not going to date myself, but I remember when your internet sources were limited. And now you can use so many internet sources. Plus, a lot of these kids are products of COVID education. Do you have to do stuff in your dorms? Is she going to spend part of the time at the house, doing classes online because you have that option from so many other schools? Who knows? How's it gonna work? Will she pledge the Greek experience itself? So unique on a Black college campus. So, be very interested to see that. What classes is she taking? Is she studying? You can build your own major now. Yeah, you could do that about 7 years ago when I was in college. I know the years keep adding up, but hey, you wouldn't believe 5, so I'm gonna give you a couple more years. So now you can build your own major the way you want it to be. What's she gonna major in? Is she gonna be like mom? Is she gonna be like dad? Does she look like a cross between Whitley and Dwayne? Or is she more Whitley? Or is she more Dwayne? I don't know. Hopefully, we'll see this pilot and we'll all get the answers to these questions. All I know is, please, please, and I don't think we're going to have this problem with a lady from the DMV and the Bythwoods and Debbie Allen. Let's not do to this 80s, 90s classic, which has happened to other ones. Yes, I'm speaking of you, Bel Air. Sorry, I had to do it. But let's not lose the beauty of the comedic aspect of that show. The timing. Those things are so important to a great sitcom. And even if it's not going to be a sitcom, if it's going to be more of a drama, let's not lose the charm of what was a different world, even if it is a really different world.